Brazilian President Bolsonaro said Macron was being a sensationalist and using the fires for political gain. You're listening to USA Radio News.
Hi, I'm Wayne Alaroot, the conservative warrior. My show War Now airs every day right here on USA Radio from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm also the star of the Wayne Alaroot Show on Newsmax TV, reaching over 50 million homes. But my favorite role is Speaker Extraordinaire. I was opening speaker at many Donald Trump for President events. I speak at Republican, conservative, and college GOP events, and I'm available to be the star at your next event. Contact me to arrange for a Wayne Root keynote speech. Call toll-free 888-444-ROOT. That's 888-444-ROOT. Or email wayneroot@gmail.com.
A Utah man who serves as the local leader in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has been accused of illegally photographing women in a dressing room. USA's John Hunt has more.
According to an affidavit filed in criminal court in Nashville, the incident began last week when a woman wanted to try on clothes and a man guided her to an empty dressing room. After the women undressed, one of them saw a camera angled over the top of her stall. She quickly got dressed and confronted the man, identified in the affidavit as Stephen Murdoch, who was exiting the store. Murdoch was arrested on charges of unlawful photography and is free on $1,000 bond with a September 6th court date. Church spokesman Eric Hawkins said in an email that Murdoch served as a high counselor, which is a volunteer position helping with the administration of several local congregations. Murdoch has been removed from all church activities.
USA's Chris Barnes has a new survey about impeachment.
The new poll finds that a majority of voters surveyed do want President Trump out of the White House, but not through impeachment proceedings. The new Monmouth University poll finds 57% of the voters said they want someone new in the Oval Office, but just 35% said they wanted to see Trump impeached. Only 39% of participants said Trump should be reelected next year, and some voters feel that an impeachment process without a conviction would put Trump in a stronger position to be reelected. For USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
For USA Radio News, I'm Wendy King.
Greece is cheap.
But the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-217-5107. 800-217-5107. 800-217-5107. That's 800-217-5107.
Welcome to the Garden America Show, the country's most listened to gardening program. This is your chance to join us as we talk about gardening, horticulture, landscaping, in fact, anything that has to do with the world of gardening. The phone lines are open right now at 1-855-424-9825. That's 1-855-424-9825 for your questions and comments. Or John at gardenamerica.com. And if you're watching us on Facebook Live, you can also post your questions and comments right there on our page during the broadcast. Now, here's Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, and Tiger Palafox on the Garden America Radio and Media Network.
It is a Saturday morning. We're so glad that you could join us. I'm Bryan Main. This, of course, is the Garden America Show as we broadcast live from the iHeartMedia studios in beautiful, sunny San Diego, California. Hope you're doing well. Back again for another couple of hours. Those of you watching on Facebook, thank you. Welcome. Questions, comments, that's probably the best way. We've also got John Bagnasco, John at gardenamerica.com. And for some of the old school folks, if you want to give us a call, 855-424-9825. We'll get your questions and comments. We have an in-studio guest today. It's going to be a fantastic show, a lot of fun. Tiger's ready to go. Maybe I should move this pothos out of the way so I can see you here. It's right in my line. And by the way, your mic is on, buddy. You're hot.
Well, I was going to mix it up because I'm on a different mic today. So I was hoping you were going to turn off John's mic. But
well, I left John hot. You know why? Because he's hot.
He's always hot.
Anyway, John, welcome. You're sitting now to the left of Tiger, to my right, which is a little different to give our guest plenty of room over there.
How do you feel over there?
This makes for compelling radio.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, those at home, we have to describe that are listening on the radio and not watching on Facebook. So we are back. We've got a great show lined up, in-studio guest. We're going to be talking about
tomatoes, right?
Yeah, tomatoes, and we got some food. Somebody brought us breakfast, which is nice. And that's somebody sitting right to your right, Tiger.
Yeah, we have Craig Madden with Yard to Table, and we'll be talking with him a little bit later about what they do and some of the things that people need to think about when they have all this harvest right now, this time of year, right?
It's that time of year, right?
You know, you're getting spoils. You should see my loofah, John. They are.
You should see my loofah.
Why don't you take some pictures or bring some in?
I was
Even
going to
better.
take pictures, but I'm like, I want to wait till I can bring it in and just like club you with it. Kind of thing.
Are you going to use it? Are you going to use it in the shower when you're all done?
Of course. Giant. I'm going to put it on a giant baseball bat.
Absolutely.
We're going to live stream that too.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We're going to sell them online too. Once our website is completely updated too, we'll sell you some loofahs for the shower.
Yeah.
Going to have a good time today. So Facebook Live, get your questions, your comments, kibitz with each other if that's what you want to do, because we're going to be here for 2 hours. Let's see, back east right now, what is it, 8 minutes after 11 o'clock, so it's going to be afternoon before too long. Still hot outside here in San Diego as we continue to complain.
It's probably hot back east too, right?
Well, but we're not used to it. We're wussies out here.
We're not, it's not even hot though. It's
No,
like
San
77 degrees right now.
San Diego's been nice all week.
Not at our house. It's been incredibly hot.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So just, little microclimates that we have around San Diego County. Tiger came in this week on, was that Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
He was so dark, I didn't recognize him. You've lost your tan last couple of days a little bit.
Have I?
Yeah, you were dark. I couldn't say who. I said, who
I
are
had
you?
to get lighted for the TV.
For TV, for Facebook Live.
Yeah.
So what kind of week did you have? What's
What's funny?
going on?
You were talking about microclimates. On Thursday, I drove from the southern part of San Diego near Chula Vista all the way up to Oceanside and made stops at different places on the way up. I was down in Chula Vista, then I had to be in Mission Hills, then I had to be in Rancho Santa Fe, and then I had to go up to Camp Pendleton in Oceanside and talk about different areas. One area that I'd never been to, John, which is funny to probably you because I drive by it all the time when I help you go work. Up past Fallbrook, there is a tomato. It's called Western Tomato Growers. A big tomato farm up there, just north of the Fallbrook area, right before you get into Oceanside. And I'm going to look it up, but they describe this whole region of this area where they grow these tomatoes, but then they have all kinds of other crops up there in that area. And I'd never been through that area, but it was pretty amazing to be driving through that inland part of the town and seeing a lot of different growers of different things, as I'm driving through there, especially this time of year.
You didn't know they were there, right?
No. I'd never really been inland from there. And that's kind of Oceanside area.
Yeah.
I've always been along the coast, but I was inland this time. But it's funny because I was only 5 minutes away from plug connection kind of a thing. Yeah.
Well, I know that when I leave the studio here, let's say during the week it's 85, 83, something like that. When I get home, heading north on 15, it's probably 90, another 5 degrees warmer. So it's hotter at our house than it is down here. So you were probably driving through a lot of those areas.
Yeah.
What's crazy is that Fallbrook, which is, in North San Diego County, but not a huge city compared to some of the others, right? On my iPhone, I have 2 zones for temperature. Because the iPhone always shows you where you are,
right?
But then if I scroll to the left, it shows me Fallbrook.
Yeah.
Like
right.
the city of Fallbrook's weather kind of
right.
thing,
Like when you come into Fallbrook, and then I'm on the east side of Fallbrook, and it's always warmer, like 3-4 degrees.
And Fallbrook's only 3 miles wide.
just about.
Yeah. That's
so anyway, by the way, I want to thank you for those 5-gallon cans you gave me. Every single one has been used.
Nice. You asked me for 10, I gave you 20, and every one of them has been used.
I used every one.
Well, that was last week in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You guys looked a little suspicious what you guys were doing. I didn't say anything.
Transaction.
Yeah, looked a little weird.
Did you see my T-shirt?
I did, but what does it say again?
I'll stand up so you can see it.
And why don't you model for the camera, John? Let's see. What is it? I can't read the very beginning of it.
Oh, it says introverted.
But willing to discuss plans.
Yeah.
Interesting. And now somebody gave that to you.
My daughter gave it to me.
I knew it. All your best shirts come from your family, your sons, your daughter.
And that's because they're hand-me-downs.
I wear hand-me-downs.
I probably have, let's see, without exaggerating, close to 100 T-shirts.
Yeah.
And out of the 100, I've bought maybe 5.
Sounds like me and plants.
Yeah. Just I've been given them, or they really were. When my sons used to live with me, they were all bigger than me, so I would just wear them when they were done.
You know, the current shot we have on Facebook looks like the old Batman episode in the 60s, where it's kind of tilted a little bit there during those fight scenes. Tiger's working on the camera right now, but that was a funny shot we had there for a second.
Yeah.
So just tilt your computers at home.
Get very artistic.
You know, just take your computer and tilt it if it's a little crooked.
Did you know next weekend was Labor Day weekend?
Yeah, we're off next weekend. No,
we are?
No, no, we got to catch up on a podcast that I can't do today because I've got to meet somebody at home.
Okay, we'll do one next week.
Absolutely.
We need ideas, right? Listeners.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good thought,
They
John.
send us some good ideas, and we're happy to talk about anything.
Anything. So John at gardenamerica.com. Podcast ideas we're looking for, something you want us to delve into. Because, of course, during the radio show, we talk about a lot of things, but our podcast will deal with probably, most likely, one particular subject.
Yeah, most likely.
Unless
John digresses.
Sometimes we drift a little bit.
We expand on the subject sometimes.
Yes.
Speaking of Thai lotus.
Yes. Great segue, John.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Segue.
I put in some, at where I work, sometimes liners of plants get tossed, and I salvage them, and I either give them to Bryan or I pot them up at home. But they had some Thai lotus, the annual variety, Joey. Which is really pretty when it's in bloom. And I potted up a bunch because I thought it would be something my wife would like, right? So last night she comes over and they finally started to take hold and they're growing and probably bloom in about 3 weeks. But she comes by and I go, these are those Thai lotus I was telling you about. She goes, oh, yeah, I really like those. And I'm thinking,
how do you know what that is, right?
You know what Thai lotus is. She goes, yeah, I was just at Myrtle Creek Nursery, and they told me those were called Joey. And so she remembered I had told her the variety was Joey.
Yeah, just think of a baby kangaroo, right?
Yeah. It's a cool flower. It's kind of a feathery flower, right? Like a little feather duster.
Yep. The good term, feather duster for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're but they also like the little small celosia, you know.
Yeah, not as a little bit looser than a celosia, maybe.
But they're fun.
John, do you have
super low water.
The quote of the week here? We've got a break coming up. We will
I do.
Set
Would you
the
like
stage.
me to share it with you, Bryan?
Or you could whisper it in my ear.
I'd rather share it,
All
I
right.
think, with our audience.
That's more appropriate so our audience can hear what's going on.
Yeah, and I picked this. This is a quote from Andy Rooney.
Is he still? No, he's not.
No, he's
around.
not alive anymore.
His eyebrows are.
But it had to do with today's topics, where we're talking about what to do with your food once you harvest it.
All right.
And he said that the federal government has sponsored research that's produced a tomato that's perfect in every respect, except that you can't eat it. He said, we should make every effort to make sure that this disease, often referred to as progress, doesn't spread.
And that was quoted a while back, too.
That's right.
Makes a lot of sense. All right, Tiger, we're going to take a break. The gentleman to your right, set the stage after the break.
So after the break, we're going to be speaking with Craig Madden with Yard to Table, and we're going to be talking about what to do with all of those extra fruit, vegetable harvests that you have right now, because you don't want to let it go to waste.
It's that time of the year, you betcha. 855-424-9825, Facebook Live, of course. John at gardenamerica.com as we get ready to take a break here. Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, here on Biz Talk Radio, locally in San Diego, AM 1240. Stay with us. We're coming right back. Hi, this is Bryan Main inviting you to join me, along with John Bagnasco and Tiger Palafox, for a springtime garden adventure to Slovenia, Austria, and Prague. Our journey starts near the shores of Lake Bled, nestled in the lower Alps. Lake Bled is one of the prettiest spots on the planet. This is also our jumping off point to explore valleys bursting with wildflowers inside the Julian Alps National Park, and so much more. For details and the complete itinerary, visit gardenamerica.com or earthboundexpeditions.com.
Mosquitoes.com. Mosquitoes can transmit deadly diseases including Zika and West Nile virus, but Summit Mosquito Dunks kill mosquitoes before they're old enough to bite. Just float an organic mosquito dunk in ponds, bird baths, rain barrels, and any standing water to kill mosquito larvae for 30 days or longer. Don't worry, mosquito dunks won't harm people, pets, fish, or wildlife. Mosquito dunks are available at fine garden centers, hardware stores, and online retailers. Visit SummitResponsibleSolutions.com.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day, and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. Call now to schedule your free consultation.
855-525-7454. 855-525-7454. That's 855-525-7454. Americans are going crazy for a new Italian diet pill that burns 3 times more fat than dieting alone. And the next 100 callers get 3 bottles for free. Sold under the brand name Invigorate 3X. This powerful pill triggers metabolic acceleration, a process that's deficient in most Americans, making weight loss a hassle. But a new study shows 30 pounds gone in 90 days with just 2 capsules a day. Julie B. of Nashville says, I was skeptical, but when I saw a famous doctor made it, I decided to try it. I was shocked. I lost 16 pounds in 6 weeks. For a limited time, our listeners get 3 free bottles with a qualifying order. Call 1-800-932-1789 now to get started. Call in the next 10 minutes and also get a free bottle of the doctor's Ultra Detox. And don't forget your free 14-day diet fix. No obligation and 100% free when you call right now. 800-932-1789. 800-932-1789.
Does your water stain and damage your fixtures? Does it smell or taste bad? Are you worried about what's in your water? Water quality should not be painful and worrisome. Get HydroCare water systems from Wave Home Solutions with the most advanced purification technologies. Call Wave Home Solutions today at 1-888-989-WAVE or go to wavewater411.com. HydroCare will eliminate limescale that causes hundreds of dollars in damage to pipes and appliances without using salt. Well water will no longer smell or stain your fixtures. City water will be purified of harmful chlorine, lead, arsenic, and chemicals. Wave Home Solutions provides the cleanest, healthiest water at every faucet. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 1-888-989-WAVE, 1-888-989-WAVE, or go to wavewater411.com. That's wavewater411.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Missed an episode of your favorite show? No worries. Catch all the episodes on demand at biztalkradio.com.
Welcome back to the Garden America radio show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
You survived the break. That is fantastic. We are back. It is Garden America with the weekend underway. Thank you so much. The dog days of summer, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox, Bryan Main, going to be a good show. You probably saw in one of those shots on Facebook Live, we do have some food in the studio, and that leads me directly to Tiger, who will lead that thought directly into our guest.
I like the train that we're on right now.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
So, yeah, this time of year, the gardener that's growing crops, whatever it may be, tomatoes, fruit, citrus, berries, squash, you always have spoils. Because why? We love to grow things, and plants will produce a lot if you allow them to, right?
And we waste it when we shouldn't.
And we do. I mean, we talk about my large tomato plant that I have in my backyard all the time, and there's a lot of fruit that's just going to waste on it, right? And so, people need to start figuring out what they can do with this stuff at this point in time, because there's better things to do besides put it on a burger or slice it up for one single meal.
And figure that out beforehand, before you do it.
Get a plan before, right? And so we are talking here with Craig Madden, who has a company called Yard to Table. Now, this is a great company, and I want to let him explain what it is, because when we're talking about people that are wanting to get into gardening or experienced and just don't have the time,
right?
This is where Yard to Table steps in. So, good morning, Craig. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well.
Good.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for putting up with us the first segment.
So, tell us what Yard to Table is.
So Yard to Table Creations is essentially my love of carpentry, gardening, and cooking rolled into one company. So I build you the garden, help you maintain the garden, but most importantly, help you figure out how to use your garden once you have all of this fruit.
Boy, you're a handholder, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. And I love to do it. When I first started gardening, my first biggest problem was I took my 6-pack of tomatoes that I bought from the nursery and stuck them all on the ground, and a few months later, I had tomatoes coming out of my ears. And my background as a chef made it real simple for me to just take them all, can them up, preserve them, put them in oil, cook them. And it dawned on me pretty quickly that I'm probably the minority in what to do with this, and that it was very natural for me, having spent 10 years in the kitchen, to know what to do with 25 pounds of tomatoes that just came out of my garden, but that a lot of other people don't. And as I started helping other people garden, I started to really see how much of their food was getting wasted, and how a very positive experience in a garden suddenly turned very negative, because what they thought was going to happen with their garden just never came to fruition.
It's interesting. On a note similar to that, my wife's mother, I remember being up there a couple of months ago visiting them, and so we finished dinner, and we were going to throw some stuff away. Now, she grew up in the Depression. So she's like, no, don't throw that away, because I can make A, B, C, D with this. I can do this with that, and I can do this with that. We're like, whoa, okay, great. Never thought of that. Kind of what you're talking about in terms of what do I do with what I think is waste, and it's really not.
Exactly. It's taking the same skills that I used in the kitchen to figure out how to make lunch specials by literally walking into the walk-in and looking around and seeing, okay, I have this, and this that I have to use somehow. I can't throw this away, because that's the bottom line of the business, going in the trash can. But I don't think I'm doing anything novel. I think all I'm really doing is taking our ideas of cooking back to where they were not that long ago.
Sure, exactly. Which is why my wife's mother, with the Depression, you had to hang on to whatever you had. You couldn't waste anything.
And I personally feel like we should be doing that now.
Oh, absolutely.
It's too easy to throw food away and not think anything of it. But in my world, it's too ingrained in my head that I just can't.
So, when it comes to growing the vegetables and planning it out, one of the first things, Craig, you work with people, what they're going to want to use, right? And what they're going to like to use, and how much of it they're going to really use, because that's going to help you plan their garden.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about kind of your client for the first time and you're talking to them. What are some questions that you ask them to get a feel for what they truly want out of their garden?
Well, my goals when I sit down with somebody first is to figure out, most importantly, the shortest list, which is, what don't you like?
Yeah.
What should we not put in your garden?
Okra.
That's usually the shortest, easiest list. Everybody, somebody can sit there and tell you for 10 minutes what they like, but they can probably tell you within 30 seconds what they don't like. So we start with that. I also like to talk about, what we can actually do with their garden with the size that they have. Most of the gardens I work with are fairly small. So we usually have to keep it to a select few ingredients that we know you're going to like and that you're going to use. There's the mainstays, the cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, the zucchini, summer squash, winter squash, things like that. What I run into is a lot of people just don't know enough about plants to know how they grow. So the ideas of what they think they can grow in their garden and the realities of what we can actually put there successfully are sometimes miles apart. So a lot of my initial conversation is getting the reality of what we're dealing with understood, so that we can then move forward, and then we can talk about, okay, well, how are you cooking dinner every night? Are you cooking dinner only twice a week? Is there 4 people in your house? Is there 6 people in your house? What are your kids going to eat? How old are your kids? If they're little kids, we have to think about how we can kind of sneak things in and introduce vegetables to them at a young age, so that, and when they get to be my daughter's age at 6 or 7 years old, they're not so afraid of food, and what's new food isn't scary to them. So we want to try and figure out how we can introduce that in a non-threatening way. Or if it's just, you and your husband and just the two of you and you guys are willing to eat anything, well, let's go nuts. Let's get some,
Sure.
cool heirloom varieties in, something with some color, and play a little bit.
But you bring up a good point. How many times a week do you cook? How many times? It's a little math involved here as far as not wanting too much, but having enough left.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, having enough left is generally not the problem. It's I've got 6 pounds of tomatoes or cucumbers or something going bad in my refrigerator, and I spent all this money to get this garden going and all this energy and all this effort, and now I'm watching it disappear. And that very quickly takes what should be a very positive experience and makes it a negative experience, and generally won't inspire people to want to garden anymore.
No, because it seems like it's too much effort.
Yeah.
For what?
So real quick, because we only have about a minute or two of this segment before commercial, some common things that people can do with extra crop. Jams and jellies, pickled, right? Can people freeze things and store them?
Absolutely. You can dice things up, put them on a sheet tray so they're not touching, put them in your freezer, let them freeze, what we call IQF, individually quick frozen, so that when you combine them into a bag, they don't stick together.
They don't stick together in a clump.
Break of zucchini.
Right.
So that way when you need it, you can take a couple handfuls, throw it in your pan, cook it up, and you're ready to go. It's a big part of what I do in my house.
So just taking those individual sliced or diced items, separating them out, throw them in the freezer, and then when you throw them into a bag, they're already frozen, so they're not all sticky together.
So they don't all
clump
clump together. So they're individual. So you can
That's
just
a great idea.
You can take a scoop and.
What kind of crops do you think people can do that with more common?
Nearly any.
Yeah.
Nearly any, especially the fruits. Fruits freeze really well, and generally, when you cook a fruit, no matter if it's fresh or frozen, it's going to turn into some sort of mush.
Yeah.
You do lose a little bit when you use things like zucchini, squash. When things freeze, they soften up a little bit. But for what you're gaining and being able to pull that out of your own garden and keep all of those nutrients, it's not being transported across the country. It doesn't have a large carbon footprint. I think if you lose a little bit of texture because you froze it, well, you're still doing better than most.
All right, we're going to take a break. That said, if you're on Facebook Live, questions, comments. If you're tuning in on the radio, wherever you are across the country, Biz Talk Radio, or right here in San Diego for that matter, first hour, AM 1240, give us a call, 855-424-9825, or you've got John at gardenamerica.com for whatever you need. Bryan, Maine, John Bagnasco. Tiger Palafox, got to come right back. Love talking food, how to use it.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. 30% of Americans who are planning home improvements of $5,000 or more will pay for those renovations with a high-interest credit card. That may not be a great idea. A better idea may be to take cash out of your home with a Quicken Loans 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 4.125%. APR 4.22%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate subject to change. Pay 0.88% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Do you have an old car sitting in your driveway? How would you like to learn a hassle-free way to get rid of it, help kids in need, and get a great tax donation in the process? It's real easy. One simple free call to our car donation hotline is all it takes. Call the Neshama Foundation at 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723. We'll come pick your car up for free and give you a tax donation for the full value of the car, running or not. The value of your unwanted car will go to help kids in need. It's fast and easy. Just call us and your car will be gone and on its way to helping children in 48 hours. And you get a nice tax deduction. Call the Neshama Foundation now to get rid of your car, help kids, and get a tax write-off. Call 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723. That's 800-721-6723.
Biz Talk News wants to feature your business as part of our Discovery feature, which highlights businesses that are not yet known nationally, but offer products or services that benefit Biz TV viewers. Available in over 40 markets on broadcast TV and online via BizTVClub.com. Biz TV wants to help get the word out about your business. If you're interested in having your business featured on a future episode of Biz Talk Discovery, email us at discovery@biztv.com.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think companies would be interested in your idea? Do you want to try to get a patent? Then call InventHelp now. InventHelp keeps your idea confidential and explains every step of the invention process. Join the thousands of people just like you who chose InventHelp to pursue their idea. We are experienced. We are working for you. We are InventHelp. Get started with your idea. Call for free information.
Call 1-800-353-7501. That's 1-800-353-7501.
This message is sponsored by AmeriGlide, featuring the nation's best prices on a home stair lift. Are you having a difficult time getting around your home? Do you avoid going up and down the stairs? Have you even considered moving from your lifelong home just to avoid the stairs? Forget about moving and call AmeriGlide and learn how an easy-to-install stair lift is the perfect solution to help you get your freedom back. Plus, we guarantee the nation's best prices. Make this free call today to learn more. No sales visits are necessary. We can help you over the phone. Now you can stay in the home you've been in for decades. Please do yourself or your loved one a favor. Make this simple 2-minute call right now. Get the lowest price on a stair lift anywhere. Here's the number: 800-886-7342. 800-886-7342. 800-886-7342. That's 800-886-7342.
Rates based on a man age 42 with no tobacco use of any form for 20 years. Policy number 25. Policy underwritten by various life insurance companies. Premium includes a $50 policy fee. Rates and underwriting criteria subject to change at any time. Not available in some states.
You've heard those term life insurance ads with their rates read very low, and at the end they have a long disclaimer read extremely fast. Why? Because most people like us will never qualify for those rates. It's just a way to get you to call. Listen, at the Term Lifeline, we'll never quote you a low rate hoping you'll call, then try to sell you something else. But we do promise to get you the best rates available on policies of $500,000 or more with professional service. Don't waste your valuable time. Get the real rates you want on term life insurance policies of $500,000 or more from the Term Lifeline. Call now.
800-430-1891. 800-430-1891. 800-430-1891. That's 800-430-1891.
Attention, Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. If you use dual-ended combat arms earplugs and suffer hearing loss or tinnitus, you may be entitled to compensation. The manufacturer agreed to pay millions to settle allegations it sold defective earplugs to the military that were standard issue to soldiers deployed between 2003 and 2015. If you served during those years, were issued combat arms earplugs, and suffer from hearing loss or tinnitus, call now.
Call 800-410-9446. That's 800-410-9446.
Watch some of your favorite shows on Biz TV. Check to see if you get Biz TV by going to biztv.com. And now, back to Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
And we are right back. If you are watching us on Facebook, we never went anywhere. We're sitting right here through the commercials, just like you. So thank you very much. It is 35 minutes after the hour. Biz Talk Radio, AM 1240 here in San Diego, broadcasting live from the iHeartMedia Studio, San Diego. It is Garden America. Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. And I want to thank Tiger for our guest this morning. We're going from the garden to the table. And where else, Tiger, are we going to go?
Into your belly.
That's what I was waiting for.
So we're talking with Craig Madden with Yard to Table. Yard to Table, what'd you say it was?
Want to get it right. Yard to Table?
Yard to Table Creations.
Creations.
Okay.
Yeah. Yard to Table Creations. And so we were talking before the break about things you can do to preserve some of these fruits and vegetables that you have in your harvest and your bounty, and so that way you can use it throughout the whole season. But today he actually brought in a wonderful creation that, when I told him, I'm like, hey, let's create some kind of jam jelly, because people want to know how to do these things, and pickles are fun, but I like something a little bit more sweet sometimes. And a crop that we always have plenty of is tomatoes, and so he created a tomato jam. Craig, tell us a little bit about what that is.
Well, a big part of what I do is teaching people how to preserve their harvest. I like to draw on my culinary skills, and I like to go a little bit outside the box. Now, tomato jam isn't terribly outside the box, but I figure everybody's had some experience with raspberry jam and blueberry jam and strawberry jam. You know, you can go online and find a whole lot of really good recipes really fast. Tomatoes tend to be the one thing that people run out of ideas with pretty quick, so I like to make tomato jam in my house. I give it away. It's a sweet and savory combination, so we're taking our tomatoes, we peel them, cook them down with some brown sugar, some chili powder. You can really use any flavor you want, as long as you use enough sugar in there to kind of make it come together and turn into an actual jam. If you want to get a little bit more technical with it, you can add pectin. I personally don't like the really firm texture for this type of jam. I like something a little bit more spreadable. And I make this in mind with using it in savory, rich items. It's got some tart, you know, the natural tartness from the tomatoes, a little bit of sweetness from the sugar, but then some lemon and some apple cider vinegar in there as well. So putting it with triple cream cheese that we have here, or on a burger, something that's really rich and savory, is going to pair really well with this.
Now, that's something you came up with in terms, this is your creation.
Well, I can't take complete credit. I think people have been making tomato jam in one form or another for a long time, but this is a version that I came up with.
Right.
That's just a version, one of many versions that I've made in the kitchen.
So
over the last 10
template
years.
is there, and then
sure.
you can kind of tweak it yourself.
Jam is jam. You can use any fruit you want. It's all basically the same concept.
Right.
You won't need to cook it down until it thickens up, and you need to add the right balance of flavors in order to make sure that it's not too sweet, not too savory, not too tart.
Well, I think the point you're making is if you go into your local Vons or Trader Joe's and ask for, tomato. I'm sorry,
Jam.
thank you.
I don't think you're going to find tomato jam.
And if I went into a store and couldn't talk, they'd say, "What's wrong with you?" But you're not going to find tomato jam in most places.
I don't know that I've ever seen it. Maybe in the specialty stores you'll see something like that. There's a store up in the Northern Sierras that we go to when we go camping that has stuff like that, but they make it all in house.
Right.
And one of the first things when you told me tomato jam, I'm like, well, what's the difference between a salsa then and tomato jam?
Yeah,
right?
very close.
And I kind of feel it's like the whole sweet, right? Because the salsa, you get the heat, you kind of have that more, would you say, savory flavor, where a jam, you're trying to get more sweet out of it, right?
Yeah, it's not completely defined by sweet. Salsas are usually either going to be fresh or fermented for the most part. Your taco shop salsas that you get are all actually fermented hot sauces.
Okay.
That bring out a lot of flavors, and the peppers in particular. The jam has to do more with the cooking process. It's cooking it down and adding, like you said, some sugars or something to thicken it up so that it becomes more of a spreadable item as opposed to something you would dip or pour on your burrito.
And you've got to be careful with the balance of the sugar and the sweetness, right, with the tomato?
It depends on the variety of tomato, and also depends on what you like. I mean, at the end of the day, if you like it, eat it. If you like a ton of sugar and you've got a heck of a sweet tooth, go nuts. I don't. So I tend to stick to the more savory side. I use just enough sugar to get it to where I need it and then stop right there. And if I need to add some other flavors and make it a little bit more dynamic, there's a whole cabinet full of things I can add.
And then as far as storing it, so you've made it, you've created it. How would you end up storing this product down the road? Is this something you keep in the refrigerator? Is this something? How do you store it? How do you keep it? And how long does it keep for?
It depends on what you do. In this case, I just threw it in a jar, threw it in the refrigerator. It's good for a week or two.
Okay.
It's pretty high in acidity level, so it'll stay for a long time in your refrigerator. But you can always can it.
Okay.
You can always actually go through the canning process, sterilize your jars, make sure you have new lids for your mason jars, and then go ahead and can them. Put them back in the boiling liquid, for 15 minutes or until it hits, pasteurize it until it hits 165 degrees, and then let it seal up, and it'll keep for a year or more.
We've already got 2 people on Facebook. Post the recipe. Please post the recipe.
It's in the newsletter.
Definitely.
It's in the newsletter. Good point, John. It is in our newsletter, so that's one more reason why you should subscribe to our newsletter. And if you don't get the newsletter, then it's right there on our Facebook page. You can also click on that. That recipe is on our Facebook page within our newsletter.
And I'll have it posted up on my social media and my website at yardtotablecreations.com.
And I know that Tiger will post that, your link on our Facebook page as well. Exactly. So plenty of ways to get this recipe. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. And so, when it comes to other things, as far as tomato jam, you can do you talked about one of the reasons why we didn't do a berry jam is it takes a lot of berries to create a jam, right? And usually people eat those. When you're talking about, say you have a raspberry bush, and unless you have a giant raspberry bush, when you go to harvest the raspberries, that's enough for one fruit bowl, or that's enough for one little yogurt topping kind of a thing, right? It's not enough to create a bottle of jam. I mean, you'd have to have pounds of raspberries to create a bottle of jam.
It's not practical.
No, it's not always, yeah.
Especially by the time you get back to the house.
yeah. You're already
2 hours picking. I just got a hand.
I've got all these scrapes on my hands. But other fruits out there that could be kind of jammed. Do you have any other kind of ideas for that for people? And while you're talking, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dig into some of this jam right now and pass it to Bryan and John.
Thank you, because I'm hungry.
Yeah, I mean, you can preserve anything. I wouldn't necessarily say that every fruit out there is going to lend itself well to a jam per se, but there's a million ways you can preserve things. You can pickle them. One of my favorite things I like to do for people when they have an excess of produce, especially small produce, is we'll do a confit in warm oil. It makes a nice table decoration. It's something you can put on the shelf and it'll look really pretty. So we can take multicolored tomatoes, maybe a couple small zucchinis or cucumbers, some garlic and whatever dried spices you prefer, cloves, cumin, anything. Put them all in the jar, warm the oil up to 225 degrees, and then pour that over the top. Seal it up. The oil will keep the fruit fresh, but it also brightens everything up because it slightly cooks it. And so it makes all your reds and your yellows and your tomatoes really pop. All the greens really turn vibrantly green. And then you can put that out in your kitchen. It's something that'll beautify your kitchen a little bit, but also something you can just pop open and eat. Throw it on a cheese board. Throw it out as an appetizer. So there's a whole bunch of ways you can preserve your food. There's no reason that any of your food should go in the trash as long as you put enough thought into it ahead of time and you have some idea of what you want to do with it before you put the plant in the ground.
Right, John. You can grab that mic if you have a question here. And while Tiger's serving us, he's serving us this nice spread right here, John. And we'd like to hear from you.
I think Tiger used to be a waiter, right?
Looks like it, right?
Is it a waiter or a bartender? I forget which.
I think he looks like a waiter. He looks like somebody that I would tip. Look at that.
The one thing I wanted to mention while I was listening to Craig earlier was the one thing that I think we get lost on is, especially in, I don't want to come off too, bad, but as Americans, we see grocery store fruit and vegetables, and we feel our vegetables and fruit have to look that way in order for us to eat them. Just to eat it, it's got to be a perfectly round tomato with no blemishes and perfect color. Well, when you grow fruit, it doesn't all come out that way, but it is still perfectly fine.
Bryan, check Messenger.
And, jams, jellies, pickles, these other ways that you can process food, it's not that you're trying to hide it, but you realize, like, there's a lot of fruit that you could use, and it doesn't have to be perfect salad ready or slice ready fruit, but you can still use it in a way that you can still eat it. You still get all the benefits of it. But so what if it had a blemish or if it's not exactly colored up perfectly fine? Because at the end of the day, when you have a jam or jelly or salsa in front of you, you don't know what that tomato or onion looked like anyways, right? Do you see that? Like how much fruit you can actually use that's not perfect in texture or color?
I actually have an interesting experience with this. I helped open a kitchen in a grocery store, a small natural grocery store. I was the executive chef when the business opened, and my eyes were open to how much waste really goes on because of that exact idea. I watched our produce guy would go through the produce every morning and pick out everything that didn't look good. And on average, he was picking between 50 and 100 pounds of produce a day that was destined for the trash can. And I threw a fit and said, give it all to me. I have a kitchen. And I would just turn it into, I made a habanero apricot jam once and turned it into a bunch of pints that I put in the grab-and-go section that were gone in 12 hours.
We're going to continue that thought. We've got to take a break. Thank you so much
this is good.
for tuning in. Yeah, I'm going to talk about what I think of the taste of this great tomato jam. Okay, John at GardenAmerica.com, Facebook Live. Yes, people asking for that recipe. It's on our Facebook page. We're going to take a break and come right back.
Hi, this is gardening expert Melinda Myers. Keeping the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite slow-release nitrogen fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 10 weeks. The non-burning, non-leaching formula provides a slow and consistent flow of nutrients. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for over 90 years. Milorganite for better results. Visit milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
Mosquitoes can transmit deadly diseases including Zika and West Nile virus, but Summit mosquito dunks kill mosquitoes before they're old enough to bite. Just float an organic mosquito dunk in ponds, bird baths, rain barrels, and any standing water to kill mosquito larvae for 30 days or longer. Don't worry, mosquito dunks won't harm people, pets, fish, or wildlife. Mosquito dunks are available at fine garden centers, hardware stores, and online retailers. Visit SummitResponsibleSolutions.com.
Have you been thinking about taking an Alaskan vacation? Well, now you can book an Alaskan cruise tour with YMT Vacations and immediately save $250 per person. Call YMT Vacations today. We've been helping people take the vacation of a lifetime for over 50 years. And right now, if you've been thinking about what it would be like to go on an Alaskan cruise, now with our $250 per person instant rebate is the perfect time. Call right now for details. And if Alaska isn't on your bucket list, we've got over 50 guided tours to different locations worldwide. Call right now for your free brochure. So if you're looking for the perfect cruise tour to Alaska or the perfect guided vacation package, you need to call YMT Vacations to book right now or for our free brochure.
800-296-1553. 800-296-1553. 800-296-1553. That's 800-296-1553.
Do you owe $10,000 or more on at least 2 federal student loans? Then you may qualify for new programs offered by the Department of Education. These programs can reduce your interest, lower your payments, and possibly qualify you for loan forgiveness. If you have $10,000 or more and at least 2 federal student loans and currently not in school, you may qualify for one of these programs. Call now to check your eligibility. Student loan advisors are standing by to help you determine if you qualify for these new programs. They can help you reduce your interest, lower your payment, and even forgive a portion of your student loan debt. Take control of your financial future. Make this free 5-minute free call now to Nationwide Student Loans and learn how you can reduce your student loan debt.
800-439-1588, 800-439-1588, 800-439-1588, 800-439-1588.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for under $30,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet under $30,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100 foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait.
Call 800-605-5370. 800-605-5370. Call 800-605-5370. Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-915-9658. 800-915-9658. 800-915-9658. That's 800-915-9658.
From Main Street to Wall Street, we have the business content you need. So sit back, take notes, and tell your friends about Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or john@gardenamerica.com.
And if you're watching us on Facebook, you saw us stuff our face with this great tomato jam, and this is just wonderful. What a great experience. We are back. Thank you so much. Facebook Live, and a lot of people asking for recipes, be it on the telephone, be it on Facebook Live. The recipe posted on our newsletter, also on Facebook, and trust me, before the show's over, everywhere you turn, there'll be this recipe for you. Tiger?
And it's so fun to see people chatting on Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, Denise was talking about how she's picking parsley for drying, and she's, won she won the grand prize for her pickled beets at the county fair.
Well, congratulations, a pickled beet winner.
Yeah, exactly. So, this is the time of year when, you have all this harvest, you're doing all these things with all that fun food, and Craig had mentioned it earlier about the concept of, for children especially, to get out there and do this because that's going to get them excited about eating this food and trying new things. During the break, though, we were talking about the idea of food going bad. And, before the break, we talked about how even though the food looks not exactly perfect, it still is perfectly good food, and you can still use it for a lot of things besides just slicing or putting into your salad. But I was asking Craig about how long this will last, the tomato jam. How long will it last in a jar in the refrigerator? He said maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And then I asked, how would we know it goes bad? So, Craig, tell us a little bit about, so people know, when they make food and they have it in the refrigerator, what are they looking at? What are they looking for timeline as far as when to throw it out, when to keep it? Because, again, we throw out food real early, I feel. Yeah. And it's not that you need to have food in your refrigerator for months. It's just sometimes we waste it. And how do we prevent ourselves from wasting it?
And I want to get your take on expiration dates while you address this. It kind of ties in together.
Bottom line, expiration dates on food exist because of lawsuits, not because they make sense.
Okay.
Our bodies have been telling us when food is good or bad for millennia. And we should just go back to trusting our bodies. If you smell your food and it smells bad, don't eat it. Mm-hmm. If you taste your food and it doesn't taste right, don't eat it. If you left your piece of meat out in the sun for the last 8 hours, you should probably not eat that, but maybe you could.
You never know.
I think we're a cautious society when it comes to food, and I think there was a generation at one point that really would get sick. People still eat well-done pork. The last case of trichinosis, as far as I've been able to tell, was 1953. It's actually one of the safest meats you can eat.
Pork.
Yeah. Mid-rare pork is much better than well-done pork, but it's still kind of a holdover.
Sure.
I think it's changing, but like anything, it's not quick. And when it comes to the food in my refrigerator, I have a 6-year-old at home that I don't want to make sick. I don't want to make my wife sick. I don't want to get sick. But just because the date says it was bad yesterday, I'm still going to check it. I'm still going to taste it. And if it's good, I'm going to use it. If it's getting to the end of its life, I'm just going to use it right now.
One time I stayed up until midnight because the milk said it was going to expire the next day.
Drinking it.
So at a minute past midnight, I drank it, and it still tasted good.
Yeah, that's amazing, right?
So your point is well taken.
Yeah. So, you're trying to kind of, again, get this concept of, food waste and allowing people to use all of their produce to the best possible ability. Like Craig mentioned, just get involved, kind of start to learn it, because you'll start to make your own decisions. You'll start to be able to get your own feel for things. And none of us want to get sick eating food, but at the same time, we also know that we don't want to be wasteful. And, I think that one thing I'll mention too right now, just because we're on the topic, is if you do have a vegetable garden, I think if you start a vegetable garden, you also should have a compost pile, because there is going to be waste. There is going to be stuff that, at the same time, you might as well, because if you're just throwing it into the trash can, that's a whole nother problem. But why not start a compost pile? We talked about it last week with Melinda about a compost pile needs a great mix of just basic green stuff, some fruit, vegetables, and let it all break down and let it all make into a good fertilizer for you to use later on.
We got a question. What is stock rot?
So John, I think, read that question, right? And I don't know. No, I don't know exactly what he's referring to. Did you find anything out?
Yeah.
Okay, stock rot is a question on Facebook. John, go ahead.
Stalk rot is something that occurs in corn, and it's a bacterial, well, there's several different diseases. There are bacterial rots or diseases that cause the plant to die prematurely. And, without knowing the exact cause, it's hard to identify what to do about it, but it usually attacks one plant here and there. And it's caused from things like too much water, flooding can cause it, but then also severe drought. So there's not really much to do about it that I could see.
But that's what it is. That's
right.
The origin.
And it affects the ear of corn itself, because it can't mature and develop.
We
So
got
do
a few
you
minutes
think
to go, Tiger.
do you think that that has to do with the idea that you're talking about, where the fungal rot issues with soil has to do with not so much it's too much water, but it's the lack of, what would you say? It was oxygen in the water, right? Right?
Well, yeah, that's a little bit different thing, but most soil-borne diseases are caused by anaerobic bacteria. So that would, if you've got too much water and you're on the soil and you're drowning out capturing the oxygen that's there, so that it can't get to the plant roots, it does allow the soil diseases to proliferate. So the more oxygen, I think that's what you're referring to, the more oxygen you could get into the soil, the better for the soil. So in that instance, if you caught it early enough, maybe a treatment with hydrogen peroxide would work, because you're adding the oxygen to the soil. And if you go to the hydrogen peroxide websites, it tells you how to use that for garden plants.
Yeah, and I think that, just having soil that it's good, well-draining, porous soil. I mean, Craig, your vegetable gardens, they aren't in ground, whether it's a tomato or corn or squash, it's got to be good to kind of produce roots and grow.
Absolutely. I spend a lot of time putting compost in people's gardens and amending soil, because a lot of times I'm working with raised bed boxes that the nutrients are sucked up every planting. So every time we pull the plants out, we're putting more organic matter in.
Well, thanks for joining us, Craig. It's been fun.
Thank you for having me.
Quick hour. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, this is
Thanks for
fun.
breakfast.
You're very welcome.
Okay, information on how to get a hold of our great guest here, Craig.
Link on our Facebook feed, and it's in our newsletter, and then we'll post something on our Facebook page.
Yep, and we've got the recipe, so great job. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming in live in the studio this morning.
Thank you very much.
Okay, it is break time. That means news coming up top of the hour on many of these Biz Talk radio stations. Of course, Facebook Live continues 6 minutes after the hour, so do stay with us. Those of you in San Diego tuned in on AM 1240, you can go to Biz Talk Radio or turn on Facebook. You don't have to necessarily be watching the screen. You can hear the audio. So again, we're going to take a break with news coming up on Biz Talk. We are back at 6 minutes after, second hour of Garden America on your Saturday weekend.
The go. Download the Biz Talk Radio app. Available on iOS, Android, and BlackBerry. Biz Talk Radio. The opinions you hear on Biz Talk Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of this station, Biz Talk Radio, its management, or advertisers. The information on Biz Talk Radio does not constitute a recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or service. If you have any questions about Biz Talk Radio, contact us at 817-274-1609 or at biztalkradio.com. This is Biz Talk Radio, America's home for
USA Radio News with John Hunt.
President Trump arrives in France, dealing with a trade war with China that threatens to drag down the U.S. economy, and now maybe starting another one with Europe. Trump plans to turn up the volume on his accusations of unfair trade practices by America's closest allies when he sits down with a group of 7 leaders. He also faces increasing provocation from Iran and issues on climate change with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And now the big topic is Russia rejoining the G7.
We spend a lot of time talking about Russia at those meetings, and they're not there. I think it would be a good thing if Russia were there. so we can speak directly.
Russia has not yet asked to rejoin. That's something that would need to happen before the group takes a vote. Trump also has plans for sit-down one-on-one meetings with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and Justin Trudeau, where the conversations will focus on trade and national security. This is USA Radio News.
To thank you for helping build MyPillow into the big company that it's become, Mike Lindell, the inventor and CEO, has created the new radio listener special. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the new radio listener special, use my promo code USA, and you can get deep discounts on the new body pillow, on regular MyPillow, the travel pillows, the Giza Dreams bed sheets. Lots of savings there. MyPillow.com, use promo code USA and save on everything on the website.
This is Shell Rotella gas truck. This is truck oil. This is hunting, fishing, camping way off the grid oil. This is climbing mountains in the rain, snow, and mud oil. This is hauling the world's greatest tailgate party halfway across the country, oil. This is not top-down cruising to the corner store for cupcakes oil. This is Shell Rotella gas truck, just for your truck and SUV, oil. Find Shell Rotella gas truck at your local Advance Auto Parts today.
A judge appointed a special prosecutor to look into why the Chicago State's Attorney's Office abruptly dropped the case against Jussie Smollett, leaving open the possibility the former Empire actor could face more charges in what police say was a phony attack on himself that he staged to get attention. Smollett, who is black and gay, maintains he was the target of racist and homophobic attacks in January. But if the special prosecutor, former U.S. Attorney Dan Webb, determines the charges shouldn't have been dropped, he could recommend they be reinstated or new charges be brought. A U.S. appeals court in Denver said Electoral College members can vote for the presidential candidate of their choice and are not bound by the popular votes in their states. The 10th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the Colorado Secretary of State violated the Constitution in 2016 when he removed an elector and nullified his vote because the elector refused to cast his ballot for Hillary Clinton, who won the popular vote. This ruling applies only to Colorado and 5 other states in the 10th Circuit: New Mexico, Oklahoma, Utah, and Wyoming. This is USA Radio News.
With a recession ending, if you've been putting off building your business, now is the time to act. General Steel will meet or beat any price on a pre-engineered steel building of the same size and specifications. Act now, before steel prices go up. So call us today for free information.
Call 800-965-1290. 800-965-1290, 800-965-1290.
3 dozen women will vie for the crown of Ms. America, but Ms. Nevada will not be there. Katie Williams, a 29-year-old Las Vegas woman, claims she's the victim of censorship and being unfairly targeted over her support for President Donald Trump.
Coordinators emailing me saying that I'm, quote, too political to be in the pageant. I asked what was the actual content that they didn't like, and they would never give me an answer, and now I don't get to compete.
But pageant organizers insist it's Williams' failure to separate political activism from her pageant persona that cost her the sash. Williams is a fitness instructor and was deployed by the Army National Guard to Afghanistan in 2008-2009. A statement from the pageant group said, Katie Williams is distorting all the facts. All the pageant asks of Ms. Williams in writing is to keep separate social media accounts. In a Facebook statement, Williams said other contestants have voiced political views and were not punished the same way she was. David Koch, the billionaire conservative activist and philanthropist who was lauded by the right and rebuked by the left, has passed away. Charles Koch did not say how his brother died, but David Koch blamed deteriorating health when he stepped down last year from Koch Industries, a Kansas-based energy and chemical corporation with an annual revenue of over $110 billion. The brothers were tied as the 11th richest in the world this year in a ranking by Forbes. At the time of his death, David Koch was worth $42.5 billion. He was 79. This is USA Radio News.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you're testing your blood sugar 4 or more times per day, injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. A CGM can immediately reduce pain. It's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Plus, get free shipping, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. Call now to receive your new continuous glucose monitor at little or no out-of-pocket cost.
855-680-2173. 855-680-2173. 855-680-2173. That's 855-680-2173.
Welcome to the Garden America Show, the country's most listened to gardening program. This is your chance to join us as we talk about gardening, horticulture, landscaping, in fact, anything that has to do with the world of gardening. The phone lines are open right now at 1-855-424-9825. That's 1-855-424-9825 for your questions and comments. Or John at gardenamerica.com. And if you're watching us on Facebook Live, you can also post your questions and comments right there on our page during the broadcast. Now, here's Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, and Tiger Palafox on the Garden America Radio and Media Network.
And welcome to hour number 2. Hopefully you were with us hour number 1 with our guest Craig, and how to save food, how not to waste food. What about expiration dates? What do you do with all the waste, and or what you think might be waste when actually, Tiger and John, it's probably not waste?
You know, this is September almost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, can you
Christmas
believe that?
is almost here, right?
Oh, stop it.
But it's time in southern states, or San Diego in particular, to start putting in winter vegetables, right?
Yeah, it's if you're starting it from seed.
Perfect time for seed, right?
Exactly.
If you're going to put in winter
still
tomatoes, those need to go in the ground now, right?
Yep. And, but some of that cool stuff, you wait a little bit longer, right? Because it's still too hot.
Yeah,
I mean, seeds you can do, your veggie pod, start growing things in there and go from that. But
I kind of treated my veggie pod like a year-round place to grow stuff. I would just put stuff in there no matter what time of the year. And you know what? Generally speaking, and I know we live in San Diego, I was successful. And I know you're having a lot of success.
I have a strawberry in it right now, and I love it. Strawberries are so good. You know what I don't like about the strawberries that I have in there right now, and I don't know the variety? Too many seeds, but the fruit is delicious.
Is there another fruit besides
seeds?
Is there another fruit besides strawberries with the seeds on the outside?
Raspberries.
Raspberries. Okay, I knew there was another one.
What are those called?
You had a name, I can't remember. Yeah.
They're not drupes, are they? No, drupes have the seed inside. Aggregate fruits. That's what they are. They're aggregate fruits.
So kind of like gravel and
That's right.
Broken up rock fruit.
You know the strawberry you want to plant, and you can get it from Alice up in Oregon, is the Marshall strawberry.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the white one?
No.
That's
That's
a pine berry.
I have one of those.
Did that ever, you said that you thought you were getting a fruit this year, and
it's flowering right now, but I separated the two varieties because
they have to cross-pollinate.
My other one was in with it, and then it didn't do well. Anyways, yeah. I'm working on it.
That's like getting married but having to live in a different house. What good is that?
That's true.
You want to take a look at Michael's comment on Facebook Live right now?
Michael said that your guest forgot to mention that when freezing veggies like beans, peas, squash, they should be blanched first.
Oh, yeah.
Good, because I read bleached.
No, you don't want to bleach. No, blanch them. Blanch them is sticking them in boiling water really quick, right? And then dumping it out. What were we talking about?
Tiger, you just keep enjoying the... are you eating?
I'm eating right now.
No, that's okay, but you're eating the tomato jam, right?
Exactly, it's delicious.
We were talking about we briefly mentioned winter tomatoes, and there's a lot of confusion about what winter tomatoes are.
Right.
And a lot of people think that winter tomatoes are short season tomatoes, like Early Girl. And Early Girl's not a winter tomato. Short season tomatoes are not winter tomatoes, but there's a group of tomatoes that will set fruit under cold conditions. And not all, but most of those tomatoes, as you can imagine, come from Russia. And you can tell by the name, Siberia is one, or cold parts of Canada like Manitoba is also a winter tomato. The one from the Czech tomato. What
Oh,
was
we
that
talked
called?
about that a lot.
Yeah, what was it?
Not Stupichki.
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Stupichka.
Yeah, that's
Stupichka.
it. Nice.
Stupichka?
Yeah.
It's an E.
Nicely done, Tiger.
I know,
That's
but
it.
you're going to be going to
those
Slovenia.
Those Czechs need to learn how to
You're going to be
pronounce
going to
things.
Slovenia, Austria, and Australia, and Austria, and the Czech Republic. You'll find out that they just throw letters everywhere.
Yeah.
Pronounce some of them, some you don't.
They don't. There's no vowels.
This
No,
word,
it's just
this
like
word
if you
needs a
need
few more
something,
letters
it's
in it.
there.
Hey, well, speaking of that, we should talk about a trip at some point in time.
Well, we can. Let me just finish up on
Yeah,
the
yeah, go
tomatoes.
ahead. Sure.
So the thing with those tomatoes is that they'll set temperature or fruit when the nighttime temperatures are in the 30s, and other tomatoes will not. And I don't believe Early Girl will either. So don't use Early Girl, but use those types of tomatoes. The thing about it, though, is even though they'll set fruit when the temperatures are cold, they won't grow. So that's why you have to plant them now, so the plant gets big enough to
Before.
produce. Yeah, before
Yeah.
the temperatures turn cold. And you can get your fruit later on. So
So they called winter tomatoes because they ripen in the winter, not because you can plant them in the winter.
right.
Yeah. So, people think they're like, oh, it's a winter tomato. I'll plant it in the winter. But no, you need to plant it in the
Yeah, so
late
you-
summer,
so you can have
fall,
tomatoes
so
year-round.
You can have it in the winter.
Right. And you do have to be in a frost-free area because they're still going to freeze.
Yeah.
The plant will freeze if it's too far inland.
I'm hoping my tomato that I have growing on the side of my pool will freeze so I can pull it out.
You don't want it to climb into your pool and get all the chlorine.
But you know what? It's going to set seed.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to come up even more next year.
So many.
The only thing that's going to solve your problem now is Roundup.
Yeah. Hey, somebody just mentioned an indigo rose tomato on Facebook. I can't see the name. I'm sorry. But I wonder if you made a
Faith. It is
jam.
Faith, yes.
I wonder if you made a jam out of indigo rose tomato. Would the jam be purplish color, or does it go red? Because I know the
inside of the tomato's red.
Red, right?
Right.
Only
so
the
it would probably
skin.
still be red, but it's interesting that this listener is bringing up indigo rose because that's probably one of the most misunderstood tomatoes out there. It was the first of the anthocyanin-rich tomatoes. And anthocyanins are the antioxidants that are in blueberries, right?
Right.
They never existed in the normal tomatoes that we ate, but there was a species in the Galapagos Islands that turned purple and had the anthocyanins in it. So they crossed that with modern tomatoes and were able to bring the anthocyanins into the tomato. But indigo rose is a dark purple tomato. Looks like a plum. And it looks like it's ripe, but on the back side of the tomato where it doesn't hit the sun is the part that tells you if it's ripe or not. And even though the tomato's purple, it'll be greenish if it's not ripe. And that greenish part away from the sun has to turn red before it's ripe. Otherwise, it's going to be horrible if you try to eat it. Does have a good flavor, and you can cook with them before they're ripe too. So cooking is no problem, but if you want it to taste good, you've got to wait till it's ripe. And Jim Myers, who developed the tomato up at Oregon State, used to tell people, wait till it was completely red, and when you think you should pick it, he said, then wait another 3 or 4 days, then pick it.
And so does that same tomato from the Galapagos Islands, is that where they cross things like Black Crim and Cherokee Purple? Did it all come from that one tomato?
No.
No, those are different?
Right. Black Crim and Cherokee Purple are what are referred to as the chocolate tomatoes.
Okay.
Paul Robeson is another one. And those were all developed probably since the mid 20th century. And people have collected those. They like that kind of smoky flavor that tomatoes give. But indigo rose was the first tomato ever to have the anthocyanins in it. And that only came out, 10 years ago?
Yeah, somebody just posted online. Developed in 2011, and then the first public planting in 2015 is what, I don't know who. Again, I can just see the comments. I don't know who.
That would be Faith once again.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Faith. Faith is very active on Facebook.
Yeah,
This
just keeping us in
This
check.
is how you work Facebook, friends, family, and viewers.
I don't know if you knew this, but the partnership I have with loghouse plants at Supernatural's Grafted Vegetables, that we own the world rights to indigo rose tomato.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Somebody, I don't know what they were referring to on Facebook. They were asking if we're going to be carrying something next year. I assume it's
probably those
one of the tomatoes
varieties
we talked about, I imagine.
Yeah. And we would love to say what we are going to carry next year, but there's a lot of factors as those of you that ordered from us this past year, understanding that, weather and different things factor into whatever plants we can actually grow and develop. We have an idea of what we want. Right. Doesn't always guarantee we're going to get it.
But like what happened to Log House this past winter.
Exactly.
When their greenhouse just
crushed with the snow.
With the snow. So that, of course, hurt a lot of the shipping and a lot of plants that would have been developed.
I was thinking of the main thing that we need, and I was going to mention it. Then I thought, that's not even a nice thing to say.
John, you're actually filtering yourself?
Yeah, whoa. This is new.
Well, I'm not totally filtering myself. I'm just letting you know that I thought about it before I said it. But what we really need is a website that works.
And I love the fact that we still have that close-up shot on Facebook Live of the jam, the tomato jam.
Digging into.
And where Tiger is destroying it as we speak.
Hey, Tiger's in charge of our new website, by the way.
That's right. We're going to go into a break. Remember, John at GardenAmerica.com, if you're not up on Facebook Live or Facebook Live, that's the case, is on the screen. Or it was on the screen. It's still on the screen. Facebook Live. There it is. 855-424-9825. And, of course, Biz Talk Radio. Thank you so much. We're going to take a break. It's Tiger Palafox. I'm Bryan Main. He's John Bagnasco. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
This is Joe Lample from Growing a Greener World. With the environment in mind, I recommend Milorganite Organic Nitrogen Fertilizer for all your growing needs. From plants to people, active growth requires energy, nutrients, and a balanced diet. Nutrient-rich Milorganite feeds the soil and plants for up to 3 months. The organic nitrogen is slow release and won't burn plants even during hot, dry weather. Trust the fertilizer, proven effective for 90 years. Milorganite, for better results naturally. Visit Milorganite.com for a garden center near you.
Hi, this is Bryan Main inviting you to join me, along with John Bagnasco and Tiger Palafox, for a springtime garden adventure to Slovenia, Austria, and Prague. Our journey starts near the shores of Lake Bled. Nestled in the lower Alps, Lake Bled is one of the prettiest spots on the planet. This is also our jumping off point to explore valleys bursting with wildflowers inside the Julian Alps National Park, and so much more. For details and the complete itinerary, visit GardenAmerica.com. or earthboundexpeditions.com.
Millions of people today have no dental insurance. If you're without insurance, do you have a plan to care for your teeth without spending a fortune? Introducing dentalplans.com. How would you like to save 10 to 60% off your next dental visit for as little as $7 a month? We offer trusted dental savings plans from companies like Cigna and Aetna with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Be a part of the 1 million plus happy smiles served since 1999 that save money when they visit the dentist. You can save on cleanings, dentures, braces, x-rays, fillings, crowns, root canals, and even teeth whitening. Call 800-639-9067 now to start saving immediately. Mention promo code RADIO to receive 15% off any plan. And for a limited time, 1 month free. 800-639-9067. That's 800-639-9067. Fees billed annually plus a $20 processing fee. Savings plans without insurance. Savings will vary by provider, plan, and zip code. Consult with plan detail page for additional plan terms. Not all plans and offers available in all markets.
Does your water stain and damage your fixtures? Does it smell or taste bad? Are you worried about what's in your water? Water quality should not be painful and worrisome. Get HydroCare water systems from Wave Home Solutions with the most advanced purification technologies. Call Wave Home Solutions today at 1-888-989-WAVE or go to wavewater411.com. HydroCare will eliminate limescale that causes hundreds of dollars in damage to pipes and appliances without using salt. Well water will no longer smell or stain your fixtures. City water will be purified of harmful chlorine, lead, arsenic, and chemicals. Wave Home Solutions provides the cleanest, healthiest water at every faucet. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 1-888-989-WAVE, 1-888-989-WAVE, or go to wavewater411.com. That's wavewater411.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This
This is an urgent health notice for all residents suffering from back, neck, knee, and wrist pain. You may qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you, but the deadline is fast approaching. Simply call the Health Alert Hotline now.
You heard right. You may qualify for a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace. These items may even be covered by Medicare or your private insurance. The Health Alert Hotline is your brace company. These specialized braces have been tested for pain relief. Call us toll-free right now to determine your eligibility and to learn how to use your private insurance or Medicare to minimize your out-of-pocket cost. Don't wait. If the deadline passes, you may lose your opportunity to get a pain-relieving back, neck, knee, or wrist brace at little or no cost to you.
800-513-0061. 800-513-0061. 800-513-0061. That's 800-513-0061.
Missed an episode of your favorite show? No worries. Catch all the episodes on demand at biztalkradio.com.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
We welcome you back. Thank you for being right there this morning, supporting us on Facebook Live. Don't forget about our YouTube channel, Garden America Radio, and you can watch all podcasts, all shows, present and future.
Yeah,
and
lots of good
past.
info.
Well, you can't watch a future show, but you will be able to when the future arrives.
And
Didn't we talk about this Days of Future Past just a couple
Yeah,
of
the
weeks
Moody
ago?
Blues.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right now, John, let's talk about the days of spending time in Europe next year with Garden America.
Oh, that's future to come.
Mm-hmm. So what about this trip that everyone's talking about?
Well, they have tomato jam on it.
Oh, whatever you just go with us and we'll figure something out. If you're a listener or viewer, we want you to go with us.
You know, there's a lot of people, because I do this myself, so I know there's a lot of people out there thinking as we talk about this trip that, wow, that sounds like something I'd like to do. So don't think about it anymore.
Do it.
Yeah, go to, let's see, if you get our newsletter, there's a link there, but you can also go to earthboundexpeditions.com. And you can get a day-by-day itinerary of this tour. But we're going to be going next year, 2020, the first 2 weeks of June. We're heading to the International Wildflower Festival in the Julian Alps in Slovenia.
Wow.
And we're going to visit Lake Bled, which is... It's a fairy book. You know, I keep building this up, and you think that if you build something up in your mind, when you finally get there, you're a little disappointed.
I don't think so.
No, this is really the most beautiful place I've ever seen in the whole world.
Take a look at the picture in
It
the
looks
newsletter.
exactly like the picture. Yeah, it looks exactly like the picture. There's Lake Bled has an island in the center that we'll visit that has a monastery from the 11th century.
Wow.
In the center of it. No motorboats on the lake, so it's very quiet and peaceful and relaxing. We're staying in 4-star hotels the whole trip. But anyway, we're going to start out the trip in Slovenia, which is where Lake Bled is, and then we'll go from Slovenia to Austria, to Vienna, and a UNESCO site, United Nations Heritage Site, and then we'll end up in Prague. And during the whole trip, we'll be seeing gardens, of course, because it is a gardening tour, but we'll be doing a lot of other things like beer and wine tastings. We're going to visit the Royal Lippensonner's
Stud Farm,
where they breed those horses, and there'll be some music involved. We'll when we're in Austria, we'll go to some places
for Mozart.
Yeah,
the Mozart thing.
Oh, that's right, the Mozart thing. I forgot about that.
And that's the official name.
Yeah, the Mozart thing.
Come and see the Mozart thing.
Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of one of those once in a lifetime.
It is
trips. We've done other parts of Europe, but we've never gone to this particular area as a group. I've been to Slovenia before, and I'm really excited to go back, having some idea of what I saw before. And if nothing else, if you like food and you want to go to Slovenia for the dessert,
right?
Where in Lake Bled, people come from all parts of the country just to taste their dessert. Trying to think of what the name was. But
so the three countries are, once again to recap,
Slovenia, which is right next to Italy. In case you're trying to figure out where it is,
just north of Italy.
Yeah, northeast of Italy.
Okay,
right. You can drive from Trieste, Italy, to Lake Bled within an hour. So we'll go there, and then from there we'll go to Austria, and from Austria we end up in Prague, the Czech Republic, which I'm really excited about because everyone I know that's been to Prague says it's one of the most beautiful cities they've ever seen.
Unbelievable.
So,
and again, you can do, you don't have to follow the exact itinerary. If you want some time on your own, of course you can have time on your own.
I've got to, if you have never been on a guided tour before, I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people that have gone to the same areas where we've been. And I'll mention something to them about something we saw, and they'll go, oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
Yeah.
And the reason is because you have no idea what you're looking at sometimes. You don't know the history behind it.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right, and you need somebody to point it out to you.
Which on those last trips we went on, 2015, 2016, where you have the headphones on and there's a guide, that is really helpful. And the beauty of that is if you want to return to those countries, you've got a little bit of background and knowledge now, and then you can really be on your own.
I mean, sometimes it's just little things. Like when we were in France, remember the Roman aqueduct?
Oh, absolutely. We took pictures in front of that.
Yeah, that was awesome, right? Well, if you went on your own, you would realize it was a Roman aqueduct. But would you notice that the olive trees that were right there were over 1,000 years old?
Yes.
I mean, you might look at them and go, "Those are old trees."
But that's somebody told us that. We had and how many people know to turn off to go to the asylum where Van Gogh was? You could drive right past that and not even know where you're going.
You could. That might be a destination point, though.
But if you didn't know, I didn't know that it was there.
You remember when we were in England and we did the private garden? Was it Long Barn, where it was the woman who lived there, right? With the history, and it was, what was the couple that stayed there when they're...
Well, it was Charles Lindbergh and his wife, Anne Morrow Lindbergh, after their son had been kidnapped and so, killed.
That was a private residence.
Right.
It was in a neighborhood. So just imagine wherever you live right now, there's homes with stories and people that live around you that you have no clue.
No clue,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But when you go on these tours, that's the kind of stuff that we get to actually experience and see, is that home, that Long Barn home that we went to, was in the middle of an English neighborhood. This wasn't a museum. This wasn't a park. This wasn't some kind of, identified site or anything of that nature.
Looks like anything else around it.
It's just if you were driving through a neighborhood and you see a beautiful home and you're like, oh, I would like to stop and look at this home. That's what we got to do. It was organized.
Yeah, because it wasn't open to the public.
No, it's not open to the public.
It was just for us.
But the home had the wonderful history, the gardens. The woman came out and all served us tea and little breakfast, treats and kinds of wonderful stuff. And you'll never get to do that again. So
yeah, no, exactly. So this is definitely a once in a lifetime. Fantastic. Talk about just a fairy tale journey is what this is going to be. Yeah. And we want you to join us. Earthboundexpeditions.com. Take a look at it. We are filling it fast. We're going to take, 30 to 35, 40 people maybe at the most?
I think we're looking at about 35 people. I did want to mention that I had I'm happy to answer your emails. If you send them to me, I'll try to direct you to someone who can answer if I don't know.
Okay.
But I had someone who said that they wanted to join us, but their wife would not be coming, and they wanted to know if it costs more for a single room. And it does.
It does.
Because if you have two people sharing a room, it's less expensive. But however, one of the things we try to do is if you don't necessarily want a single room and you wouldn't mind sharing with someone else.
Buddy up with somebody.
Yeah, we'll try to pair you up with someone, because we always have requests from people that say, I'm going as a single, but I'm willing to stay with someone if you can pair me up.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a great way to meet a friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, by the end of these trips, we're friends with everybody. It's amazing how these trips develop, and it's always a great time. So really consider that. First 2 weeks in June 2020. More information, again, John said email him, john@gardenamerica.com. We're going to continue. We're going to take a break right now. Thank you for being there on Facebook Live. Much appreciated. Those tuned in on Biz Talk Radio supporting Garden America. I'm Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. As Tiger continues to polish off the tomato jam, it is break time. Our wonderful sponsors and these great messages coming your way right now.
Hall of Fame catcher Johnny Bench for Blue Emu. Hemp oil is everywhere, but not every hemp oil product is made the same. Now introducing Blue Emu Plus Hemp Oil. Why not trust the Blue Emu brand that has been the #1 selling emu oil brand for over 5 years? Blue Emu Plus Hemp Oil has been organically grown. It is pesticide-free, non-GMO, made in the USA, and most importantly, odor-free.
Order Blue Emu Plus Hemp Oil today on Amazon or the Blue Emu website.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for under $30,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet under $30,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100 foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait.
Call 800-605-5370. 800-605-5370. Call 800-605-5370.
Biz Talk Radio is now available on Amazon Echo. Just add the Biz Talk Radio skills, then ask Alexa for the latest business news. You'll instantly get live, relevant information from the best business source. Biz Talk Radio. Alexa, open Biz Talk Market Tips.
Do you owe $10,000 or more on at least 2 federal student loans? Then you may qualify for new programs offered by the Department of Education. These programs can reduce your interest, lower your payments, and possibly qualify you for loan forgiveness. If you have $10,000 or more and at least 2 federal student loans and currently not in school, you may qualify for one of these programs. Call now to check your eligibility. Student loan advisors are standing by to help you determine if you qualify for these new programs. They can help you reduce your interest, lower your payment, and even forgive a portion of your student loan debt. Take control of your financial future. Make this free 5-minute free call now to Nationwide Student Loans and learn how you can reduce your student loan debt.
800-439-1588, 800-439-1588, 800-439-1588, 800-439-1588. Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-915-9658. 800-915-9658. 800-915-9658. That's 800-915-9658. This message is sponsored by AmeriGlide, featuring the nation's best prices on a home stair lift. Are you having a difficult time getting around your home? Do you avoid going up and down the stairs? Have you even considered moving from your lifelong home just to avoid the stairs? Forget about moving and call AmeriGlide and learn how an easy-to-install stair lift is the perfect solution to help you get your freedom back. Plus, we guarantee the nation's best prices. Make this free call today to learn more. No sales visits are necessary. We can help you over the phone. Now you can stay in the home you've been in for decades. Please do yourself or your loved one a favor. Make this simple 2-minute call right now. Get the lowest price on a stair lift anywhere. Here's the number: 800-886-7342. 800-886-7342. 800-886-7342. That's 800-886-7342.
Watch some of your favorite shows on Biz TV. Check to see if you get Biz TV by going to biztv.com. And now, back to Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or john@gardenamerica.com.
It is exactly 35 minutes after the hour. Welcome. Thank you, Facebook Live viewers. Those of you tuned in on Biz Talk Radio. Had a great first hour with, we're still chowing down on the tomato jam, which you've said I could take home, Tiger. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because you have to return the tray to him, don't you?
I will. Yes.
You know, Tiger was just mentioning that you got 6 different plumeria this week?
6 or 7 different plumeria, yeah.
And I ordered a species of daylily, which now I'm trying to think of what the species was because I know somebody out there listening is going to want to know.
Mm-hmm.
But, species daylilies are smaller flowers, right?
Right.
And they're simple, right? Like a little yellow flower or something. But what intrigued me about this particular species was that it has 6 to 7 foot flower spikes.
Whoa.
So I was thinking, how cool would that look in the background of a long border or something? Just kind of waving in the background.
It'd be amazing. How big does the plant get, the foliage?
Just regular daylily size
2
foliage.
feet, maybe?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then the flower spike's 7 feet up there. I'll look it up right now because I know people out there are wondering.
I don't want to say the names of the varieties of plumeria that I got because I want to surprise people soon with pictures when the flowers, because I have a couple varieties.
You did get the double, which was in our newsletter last week.
Yeah,
right?
the double white. But some of these flowers just blew my mind when I saw them, so I'm really excited for
the size of the one flower you told me about.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. I'm going to take a picture of it next to my head.
But that's not all you grew last week. Didn't you plant some other things as well? Aside from the plumerias?
Did I? I don't know. I planted
I think so. You rattle off a bunch during the break.
Oh, yeah. So when we were in England and we saw these long borders, one of the things that I saw that they did was thistle. Thistle is a very pretty plant. There's a lot of varieties of thistle that grow, and they're very unique flowers, and the foliage is good. It's got that gray kind of sharp-edged foliage. They look fun. So in one of the beds, I planted artichoke to be incorporated with the plants that are there, because the artichoke flower is actually really good, and the plants stay year after year, and they just, you can get artichoke off of them. That's one thing. It's a good vegetable to have and grow, but you can also grow it just for the aesthetic purposes of it and let them go to flower.
Because of the flower.
Yeah, and they're wonderful. So I planted some artichoke, and I also, another plant, because I planted the foliage along with, because it's a good plant, is the cosmic kale. I included that into this bed. So I have this almost edible flower bed going on right now.
I can't say for sure, but I think that cosmic kale is being discontinued and may never be available again.
Oh, really?
So don't lose your plant.
Well, that sounds
a good perennial
pretty final.
plant.
What's going on?
It's a long story.
Okay.
Hey, I wanted to let you know the species of that daylily, Hemerocallis is the genus for daylilies, is Hemerocallis citrina thunbergii. Citrina or citrina thunbergii.
Mm.
So that's the variety
And is it a yellow or gold?
It's yellow.
Gold.
Yellow. Small yellow flowers, but you know what it reminded me of when I saw the picture? I could picture it blowing in the wind. For some reason, it reminded me of when we were at David Austin's booth at the
flower show.
Yeah. Trying to think. Chelsea came in Hampton Court.
Hampton
Court Flower Show. And we saw the one rose called Tottering by Gently.
Yep.
Which I was really intrigued with. And this kind of reminded the same thing, that with wispy stems kind of blowing. So we'll see.
One of the Facebook listeners just reminded me that 2 weeks, September 8th, we're having an event at the nursery being here in San Diego County, there's a lot of great farmers and great chefs. And so there's a great organization that kind of pairs them together. And we're having an event at the nursery at September 8th where we're able to show off some of these chef/farmer collaborations.
Is that a Saturday?
I believe so.
September 8th.
Yeah.
You've piqued my interest.
Yeah. And so there's going to be food. There's going to be farmers there. You're going to be able to chat with people about what their organizations are doing. And
September 8th is Sunday.
Oh, it's Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We may drop by.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And so lots of food, lots of information, good time for all. But, San Diego County has just got a plethora of people doing that. And kind of like what we're talking about with Craig, that coming up with just really neat, fun stuff with food and crops. So a lot of good time.
He brought up a lot of good points, though, how indoctrined we are with, expiration dates and the amount of food that we waste. And, if you could just become more aware and learn, but it's ignorance. And I don't say that in a bad way, but it's lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
So what he brings to the table, pun intended, is something that people should really take to heart.
But, sometimes you need to know the reason for why something is that way. For instance, if there is an expiration date, maybe you need to know the reason for the expiration date. And the reason I bring this up is during the break we were talking about eggs. And the thought was in Europe, they don't refrigerate their eggs. So you would think, well, we don't need to refrigerate them. They don't do it in Europe, and they have no problem over there.
But what do they do that's different, John?
Well, they don't wash their eggs. And here in the United States, we do wash the eggs, so the protective covering that's on them necessitates that they become refrigerated so that you don't get all kinds of diseases. And you might just assume that the eggs were produced in one part of the world the same as they are in another part, and it's not really true. It could be the same for maybe milk.
Yep.
Maybe they don't pasteurize it in some part of the world because they use it right from the cow.
But isn't washing an egg much like washing a banana?
I don't know.
You don't see the correlation
No,
there?
I see where washing an egg is kind of like the apple. Like we put a wax coating on our apples
but we're not
to
eating,
ship them.
We're not eating the shell.
Right.
And you're not eating the banana peel. You're eating the banana, which is inside.
Right, but there's no diseases that go inside the banana that are going to kill you.
But how many people didn't know that until you just said that? Oh, that's a nice tune in the background, isn't it? That must be me. I'm sure it'll go away pretty soon.
He was talking about how much food that he realized was thrown away and wasted just because of the appearance.
Correct.
And I was thinking the opposite of that. How many times does something get sold just because of the appearance? And I was thinking of the Red Delicious apple.
Well, you're right about that. Produce markets, appearance.
I mean, a Red Delicious is about the most. I mean, Snow White would have gobbled that down in a minute, right?
Yeah.
But it has no flavor. They're horrible.
Right. That's true. It's exactly
it looks
right.
Good.
Yeah.
But it's all about presentation, John. You know that. At these
the
markets.
original Red Delicious apple was good. It tasted really good, and the person who ended up breeding it and bringing it to market kept selecting and to get the fruit redder and redder and redder.
Mm-hmm. And so you ended up getting a very bland but good-looking apple.
Yeah, you ended up with one that looked perfect but had no flavor whatsoever.
And we talk about that with tomatoes all day long, where you go into a grocery store and beautiful red tomatoes sitting there on that pile, but you cut into it, you put it on your burger, you put it into your salad, just watered down flavor. But that same variety, that beefsteak variety that you grow at home, it has flavor. It has all of the wonderful stuff that you have out of a beefsteak. But a farmer, they needed to grow it a certain way. They used certain variety that was going to be this way and that way. And, that's...
We've got somebody online that wants to chime in. Don't have the name, but you're on the air with Garden America. How can we help you? And what kind of information do you have to share with us this afternoon?
Hi. This is Lila.
Hi, Lila.
Hi, Lila.
Go ahead, Lila.
I just wanted to let the people in San Diego know that there's going to be a sale in Rancho Bernardo, and I have the address. It's 12344 Escala Drive, and they will have at least 12 plumerias and possibly some other plants. and it's for the benefit of a therapy horse that needs some medical attention, that works with kids with special needs.
Oh, that's
very nice.
Yeah, definitely worth stopping by. Lila, when you say 12 plumerias, do you mean 12 different varieties, or do you mean 12 plants?
12 plants. I don't know what varieties.
Okay. All right.
They could be all different.
And what was that address again that's in Rancho Bernardo?
Yeah, it's 12344 Escala Drive.
All right. Thanks so much for sharing that.
Lila, perfect. We're going into a break, and we do appreciate that information. Have a great day, Lila. Thank you for always being there and listening to our show. All righty.
Sure.
45 minutes. Oh, you betcha. Of course. We'd love to hear from you. 45 minutes after the hour, that means we have one more segment coming up. Plenty of time for your questions on Facebook Live, your comments. Very active on Facebook today. We do appreciate that. You can also call us at 855-424-9825 or John at gardenamerica.com.
Mosquitoes can transmit deadly diseases including Zika and West Nile virus, but Summit mosquito dunks kill mosquitoes before they're old enough to bite. Just float an organic mosquito dunk in ponds, bird baths, rain barrels, and any standing water to kill mosquito larvae for 30 days or longer. Don't worry, mosquito dunks won't harm people, pets, fish, or wildlife. Mosquito dunks are available at fine garden centers, hardware stores, and online retailers. Visit SummitResponsibleSolutions.com.
Looking for a safe and natural organic fertilizer for your yard and garden? Fertilome is now offering natural and organic fertilizers for all your fertilizing needs. Roses, flowers, vegetables, herbs, fruit trees, palms, and more. Natural Guard organic fertilizers are a certified listed product for organic use and safe to use around your family and pets. Always read the label and ask for Natural Guard by Fertilome Organic Fertilizers at Dixie Line Lumber or your favorite independent nursery. Make your piece of the planet a healthier place to live by using Natural Guard by Fertilome.
Want more business content? You need BizVod, the place for business videos on demand. With BizVod, you can watch the business videos you want to watch when you want to watch. Search for topics that interest you. Available on Roku and Web TV, and soon on Amazon Fire, Apple TV, iOS, and Android. With BizVod, you don't have to wait for business content. You are in control with hundreds of business shows and clips available on demand. Log on to BizVod today and use promo code RADIO for your first month free. That's right, for a limited time, your first month is free with no obligation. You can cancel anytime. Membership to BizVod is only $49.95 for the year. That's less than $5 a month. Again, the promo code for your first 30 days free is RADIO. BizVod, the place for business videos on demand. Log on to bizvod.com and join today.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you're testing your blood sugar 4 or more times per day, injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. A CGM can immediately reduce pain. It's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Plus, get free shipping, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. Call now to receive your new continuous glucose monitor at little or no out-of-pocket cost.
855-680-2173. 855-680-2173. 855-680-2173. That's 855-680-2173.
We paid less for our Craftmatic today than we did 20 years ago.
If you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and free information on today's Craftmatic adjustable beds. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Rated #1 by consumers nationwide on consumeraffairs.com. Craftmatic beds come in all mattress types, including cool gel memory foam for up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand. Enjoy temporary relief of low back pain, poor circulation, nighttime heartburn, mild arthritis. You'll sleep better in a Craftmatic adjustable bed. So if you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and information. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Discover Craftmatic for less, up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand.
Call 1-800-316-5271.
That's 1-800-316-5271. 1-800-316-5271. Call now.
Do you have an old car sitting in your driveway? How would you like to learn a hassle-free way to get rid of it, help kids in need, and get a great tax donation in the process? It's real easy. One simple free call to our car donation hotline is all it takes. Call the Neshama Foundation at 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723. We'll come pick your car up for free and give you a tax donation for the full value of the car, running or not. The value of your unwanted car will go to help kids in need. It's fast and easy. Just call us and your car will be gone and on its way to helping children in 48 hours. And you get a nice tax deduction. Call the Neshama Foundation now to get rid of your car, help kids, and get a tax write-off. Call 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723, 800-721-6723. That's 800-721-6723.
From Main Street to Wall Street, we have the business content you need. So sit back, take notes, and tell your friends about Biz Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the Garden America Radio Show with Bryan, John, and Tiger. The phone lines are open right now at 855-424-9825. That's 855-424-9825. Or John at gardenamerica.com.
It is our final segment here as we broadcast live on Facebook. Thank you so much for being there. I love watching Facebook because aside from people asking us questions, they're interacting with each other, which is a good thing here, discussing the show and some of the things that we're talking about. So we've got
a community.
Absolutely, a big community, a family, the Garden America Nation are one big family, so thank you for that. Also tuning in on Biz Talk Radio and every hour, first hour, every Saturday here locally on AM 1240. So,
hey, Lila mentioned on that plumeria sale that she wasn't sure. She mentioned the sale was on the 25th, which is tomorrow. Right.
And Tiger's going to be
time to prepare.
You're going to get goats, huh, Tiger?
Yeah.
A little in between break discussion there, but about the possibility. Now, you brought up a good point. So, if you're going to get a goat, for what reason? As a pet, for the fur, for the milk, for the novelty. There should be a reason, not just a pet. For the meat, goat meat, huh?
I can't do that with kids.
No, they're a little too young right now.
They would not like
that. Now, when they get a little bit older, though, they could take some responsibility and take that off your back.
Right.
Because you have to, every day, and you got to milk them consistently, right?
Right.
And
I think I'm going to do a fur one.
A fur goat?
Fur goat.
So you can sell sweaters?
No, just because I need them to be something aside from a pet. So
you need them to contribute to the family.
I'd like to see Tiger spinning his own wool.
I'm going to definitely not do that.
Hey, John, do you have any questions or anything on John at gardenamerica.com?
No, I don't.
Well, that's sad. That used to be a very active account.
He's getting lots of emails.
Well, I do have a lot of emails
that
say,
John at gardenamerica.com.
Say help us with our gardening needs. Do you want me to read any
No,
of them?
I think those are spam emails that we can't say those words over the air. We've got that old 7 or 8 second delay.
A lot of them we can, but they're just silly.
Is it Lenore that just said, we haven't heard from Rick today?
Hey, Rick hasn't been on Facebook. You're right, Lenore.
Rick was in the middle of moving to Idaho, remember?
What?
Oh, that's right.
So from California to Washington?
No,
Oregon to Idaho.
Right. He was in Grants Pass, Oregon.
He just keeps working his way up north. Next year he's going to be in Winnipeg.
Well, I think,
Canada.
Yeah, I think Idaho is not really north, is it? Isn't it just more
Well, okay,
east?
he's going east. Okay, but he's... Well,
I think it's
older.
because family lives there.
No, he is. That would be north from Oregon. Would be northeast, I believe, a little bit, if my geography is correct. Or is that Washington? Because you got Montana up there as well.
Yeah.
Well, Montana's quite a bit east.
Idaho's right up there, too.
Well, Washington is directly north of Oregon.
Okay, John does not like the state of Idaho. We can all agree on that.
I like Idaho. I don't have anything against Idaho.
I'm just showing you how people on the radio can twist other people's words. Got a kind of a joke there. Somebody calls in, they say, I heard you say this. And he said, that's not exactly what we said.
We got a question.
Go ahead.
Oh. You have to read it.
Oh, is it on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. John, can you see that? I'm in an awkward position here.
Yeah, it says...
Thank you. I don't have to turn around now.
Sometimes I read these for the first time as I'm going along. I probably should take a quick look overall. But Michelle says that she has freesia bulbs that are coming up now, but a wild tomato got in there on the top. What do I do?
Freesia bulbs now?
It's early, right?
It's late.
Well, early or late, depending upon how you look at it.
It's right in the middle of being early or late. Well, if the tomatoes, freesias could come up around the side. But yeah, it is really early. You know what does come up now that people think is a spring bulb are paper white narcissus.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Because this is the time they naturally bloom. They don't really bloom in the spring.
Correct. Yeah, it's all the forcing that we do in the winter and the spring with that kind of stuff. But when you have bulbs, they kind of naturally come up in plants though too, which is nice because whether it's a paper white or freesia or a hyacinth, even people that grow tulips, one of the beauty behind a bulb is it just kind of comes up and it'll come through plants. A lot of times they don't get choked out. There's usually not a lot of problems. They just kind of come up through plants, which is a nice part of why you have bulbs is you just let them come up through different things.
Well, if you think of where they grow naturally, you'll see them in meadows, and they're coming up, like you say, through
annual flowers.
Grasses,
yeah.
And when we go to Slovenia, when we're at the International Wildflower Festival, you'll see bulb plants like cyclamen and things coming up through everything else.
I planted a series of freesias and some other varieties of bulbs, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, in a bed because I wanted them to come up through all the other plants when they're in bloom, because it's the nice little surprise to have it just come up into a bed and comes through the shrubs or bushes or flowers, whatever you have there. And you don't have to do anything. Then the only hard part about bulb beds and those plants is that you have to let them die back. So there's always that time frame. You can't get in there and just clean them out, cut them down, and make them disappear. In order to get the reblooming, you need to let them...
teenage years where everything's kind of awkward.
Yeah, right. And you got to let them die back and not look good for a while, and you just have to deal with it. But
hey, John, do you recall, and we got just a couple of minutes here, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago maybe, time flies, you gave me 2 palms in the same pot. You recall that?
Yeah, they were queen palms.
Those are queens.
Right.
You got to see them now. About as high as that speaker behind you.
Really?
Uh-huh.
And they have mature leaves now, not just the single leaves. They've got the divided fronds.
Right, exactly.
Pinnate leaves.
Exactly, and they're both the same pot. So I didn't transplant it.
Oh, you probably should now. It's probably getting pretty big. So
it's huge, yeah.
Put them in a 15-gallon can or something.
That's why I love palms for the most part. They just take care of themselves. And don't some become drought tolerant after a few months?
A lot of varieties are not just after a few months. A lot of varieties are drought tolerant palms that are native to desert areas that just have.
Oh yeah, look at Palm Springs at the. I was going to say California fan palms, but yeah, that's what they are.
I'll take a picture so you can see how big these suckers are. Huge.
Washingtonia foliferas.
Right.
And there's no problem. Those are easy to transplant too. Just pull them out, put them in a big pot. They're not as sensitive as if I was transplanting a bougainvillea, I might have problems. But with a palm,
well, occasionally you'll see those trucks going down the freeway that have those huge palms
and the big dirt
longer than the truck.
Yeah,
and then the dirt pile behind it is as big as you.
Yeah, stick them in.
Yeah. They do some palms have tap roots and they're more difficult, but
queens are fine though. Queens should be okay.
Yeah. Queen palms are easy.
There's a hotel in Mission Valley that just installed a series of palms, and you can see them along the freeway where they installed them. These palms are 50, 55 feet tall.
Wow.
And they just installed them.
There used to be the palm collection at the Valley High Hotel.
Yeah.
Hey, that's going to do it. Thank you so much, Facebook viewers. Get your questions, comments ready for next week. We're going to be here Labor Day weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. I want to thank our guest today. We learned a lot about saving food, expiration dates, and how to avoid waste. Bryan Main, John Bagnasco, Tiger Palafox. I want to thank Brandon. Great job, buddy. See you next week. Take care, buddy. Take care. Good growing.
Listen on